That was a
Yeah,
lot
high
of
school
fun.
yearbook picture.
That's. I thought that was a fresh one or fresher than most of what I see when I Google search you.
Yeah, might be. Might be. Oh.
So you say you're moving, Steve? Are you heading away from Idaho, or
Oh, we'll probably still stay in Idaho, but we're going to get some land. We're just moving off
Yeah.
the water.
nice?
Prices are too crazy on the water right now. We can get too much for the house.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So
We
we
missed
bought a
it.
halfway house, and we're living in it now. It gives us time to look for something after we sell our house on the water.
Oh, real quick, I got a
You-
request for both of you. Let me know if my audio starts getting funky.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what's changed here, Jeff, but it just decided to work right today.
Definitely sound better.
All right, I got backups. All right, sorry, go
Will
ahead.
you will you miss living on the lake, Steve?
Yeah, but you know what? Last summer we didn't use the water enough. We really didn't. I was too busy. Wife was doing other things, and so
Hmm.
um, yeah. I mean, it is nice that when you want to boat, you walk out your backyard, you hop in a boat, and you go. But
Yeah.
um, I probably boated 4 times last year, the whole summer. So
I, my a good friend Jeff, he had a boat up on Raystown Lake, which is in PA, and I'd always go up and hang out with him, and we spend the whole weekend. We just sleep on the boat. He never took the boat out. It costs too damn much.
yeah, filling up the tank for $500 is
Yeah.
not fun
Yep.
either.
Yeah.
I'm a land advocate. I think you're making a good move there.
Yeah. I always wanted land. I'm glad we bought what we did versus buying land, because the house appreciation prices on the water are
Mhm.
it was 5x. We bought in 2013,
Mm.
and it's gone up 5 times, and the land is probably only doubled or tripled in that amount of time. So
Yep. All right, 8 seconds.
You're gonna miss the scenery.
I don't know.
3 seconds.
We won't have that crazy noise.
All right, and we're here.
All right.
Hey.
So, land dweller Steve. I'm gonna miss the old backdrop. You used to have the
Yeah.
curtains, the lake behind you, and the
Mhm.
cat.
Still got the cat, and actually have a dog sitting on my desk right now. So there's a cat bed up here, and this dog, she'll bark at me in a soft bark to get up on the desk. So she's a desk dog. So I'll just prove it to everybody right now. That's Mia. She's a Palm Chi. Yeah. So
Hmm.
anyway,
Nice.
So you say you're going to get some land? You're going for some mountainous area?
yeah. So I mean, this North Idaho is just filled with lakes, mountains, trees, and so we've got a lot to look at. We got to sell the river house first, and then get more serious. But I've seen some good size, 20 acres and up land that's got power
Mhm.
to it. We can do a well, all that. So yeah, we've got a lot of options up here.
Think you'll build?
Yeah. So yeah, I want to say definitely build. I mean, the right deal comes along on a house that's
Yeah.
fairly modern, and we'll do it. Or if it's got already got good structures everywhere else, and we'll build a house to add to it. But yeah, the undeveloped land with power to it is worth the money right now. The developed land, where there's a house on it, you're paying a premium for the house, and you don't need to, because you can get a builder and $200 a square foot, be in
Mm.
there. So anyway,
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
one of the biggest
A little bit more
surprises to
work.
me
Well, that's why we got the halfway house. Sorry. Go ahead,
Yep.
Alex.
I was going to say the a big surprise to me was being able to control what your water tastes like is invaluable.
What
So
do you
when you're
mean?
on a well, Jeff, you can, do all these different filters and whatnot. If you don't like the straight taste off the water, of course you got to usually soften it or that kind of thing, but then you can play around with different things and
Huh.
make it more salty or more metallic, or there's all
Uh-huh.
sorts of ways you can flavor your water a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah, and our house on the water, we have a well, and we love it. We loved it, and our irrigation came out of the river. So you want to water the lawn, water as long as you feel like it, right? You want kids to play in the sprinkler, great. I didn't care. Now we're paying for city water, and I've turned into my dad. So, like, I'm in control of the sprinkler system. 10 minutes is enough per zone once a week. Forget it.
Yeah,
The
my daughter
grass
would
is
love
in
that.
God's hands. What's that?
My daughter would love that.
Yeah, just
She
run it
she
like
she used to get on me all the time about if I took a long shower. And now that she's gotten older, she's in her teen years, she spends an hour in there. I got to jump on her.
yeah. That's my next thing to go after any guests, kids, anybody if they're using the shower too long.
What's
Let them know
that,
how
or
much we're paying for that water.
as the dad in the house, you're always turning the lights off after people.
I do that too.
Unbelievable. The one thing, yeah. So I picked up all of my dad's dadisms except for one. Slamming the doors used to drive him crazy.
Mm.
Like, don't slam the damn doors. And I'm okay. Maybe my kids didn't slam the doors the way I did. I don't know, but everything else, lights, uh, letting food expire. God forbid you let food expire around me. I will lose my mind. So anyway,
Yeah, I'm not down with that either. We have leftover night, and that's usually 1 or 2 nights a week. Time to eat all the leftovers. You know,
nice.
if you don't like it, tough shit.
Hmm.
That's right.
I need to talk to my wife about this one. I like this idea. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the people watching today could care
Ah,
less about any of this stuff. They're here for market uncertainty.
Yes.
they've come to the right place. America 2025, automotive. Nothing is nothing is more uncertain than automotive in America in 2025. That's for sure.
Sure seems like it.
Yeah, I mean, you thought
Or
post
there's
COVID
Timu.
inventory, all that was a deal. Nah, we don't. How do you forecast for next week? Right? I mean, think about how we used to forecast. Right, pre COVID. Right? How much did we do last June? What's our year been like so far? All right, a little bit of math, maybe one or two assumptions. Boop, we got a June forecast, and I guarantee you we're going to be within 10% of that forecast, one way or the other. Today, okay, you tell me what you're going to sell next week. Go ahead. Yeah, you have no
No
idea.
idea.
New tariff announcement this morning, right? Not just the Apple tariff, but 50% tariffs on EU products. That's European Union, for those you don't know, beginning June 1st. It's a 3-day weekend. I predict by Tuesday morning, that'll have changed. So again, and look, I got no problem with it. Make no mistake. Make no
Yeah,
mistake. I have no problem with it. I just know that from a business standpoint, it makes it challenging. And if it wasn't challenging, anybody could do it, right?
very true.
Yep.
So
I mean, it wasn't challenging enough before, so just
yeah,
had to
market was
game a
getting
little
back to
bit.
normal. My apologies. I have a
We
little
started
dog
playing
that wants to
Monopoly in
stop here.
2025 with Park Place and Boardwalk already sold.
Yes.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about the 50% to the EU. I mean,
Literally a couple hours ago. So
huh?
Okay.
sorry, I had another dog that wants to join on the desk. So now they're mad at each other. Stop, ladies.
There's some uncertainty.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty. That's why I wish I had those noise canceling my noise canceling microphone working. You wouldn't hear the little fights. I can be on a call with this headset and have a dog barking right next to me. Nobody hears a thing. So
Hmm.
Hmm.
for the audience, this software we're using only picks up my microphone that's in my computer in front of me. So I'll try to face this way when I speak. But yeah, Jeff, you guys are seeing it, right? I mean, you got European brand, right?
Hmm.
Uh, what's what has the inventory situation been like for you? Are you getting the vehicles you guys want, or are you getting what Mercedes can send you?
Uh, right now we're getting what we want pretty much. Yeah. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
we just dumped off a bunch of cars just this week. So our new car inventory right now is actually pretty strong. Not bad at all.
Has the have the market trends been normal for you? What I mean is, did you guys have a normal April? Did you have a normal May? Or was there tariff pre buying prior to the
Definitely had,
tariffs?
yeah. Last month, yeah, last month definitely uh, some pre-tariff jitters going on. It definitely pushed some sales forward into April. So far in May, we're not doing too bad, uh, but nothing's been normal. Shit has been
Yeah,
normal for a while.
that's for sure. So that there are really just a couple of things on the marketing side that I've been advising my clients to do regarding the uncertainty. One is paid marketing, whether it's Google or Facebook, whatever you're doing, has to be low funnel. You cannot waste ad dollars right now on branding. And I mean, I'm even talking billboards, whatever, traditional media. Everything that you're doing has to be to grab the guy or gal that's buying today, because who knows about tomorrow? Somebody sees your terrific television commercial, or your great display advertising, whatever you're doing that's high funnel, and by the time they're ready to buy, something's changed and now they're not ready to buy. So even if it had the impact that it used to have, and I don't think it does, the high funnel stuff, right? By the time I get down to if I'm a buyer, yeah, okay, I saw, hey, we won't be undersold, or whatever trust us, 100% transparent, whatever you were saying back then, before I caught new car fever in the past, oh yeah, I remember, I want to go to Joe's Motors because they're this, they're that. Now, when someone catches new car fever, even before the tariffs, where are they going? They're going online. They're going to Google. They're not looking you up unless they're a prior customer. So I'm not sure
Hmm.
how effective high funnel was on the digital marketing side, before the tariffs. Today, I'm gonna exhaust the low funnel stuff before I spend a dime mid funnel or high funnel. So
I could
Okay.
see that on Google paid search for sure, especially Google paid search.
yeah,
That seems to be trending down across the board anyway.
Yeah.
Google is losing a lot of market share to the AI search now. It's become really just a place to go in and say, what was that, that restaurant, I want to go to their webpage, because a lot of the AI search, when you go and say like, you know, McDonald's near me isn't for an AI search, for example. That's a Google search, that's a DuckDuckGo search. But a like an AI search is find me the cheapest used car with less than 50,000 miles, and it comes in red, that kind of thing. And an AI search would give you that.
yeah, it will, and I suspect that Google's vehicle listing ads, the Performance Max shopping, will probably catch up with some of that. Right now it's very good if you know make, model, if you know uh, used cars, just very specific. I haven't tried doing an AI targeted search to trigger it, but the Google vehicle listing ads are still right now they're the most efficient digital marketing dollar a dealer can spend, if as long as it's targeted properly, as long as you're not trying to cover too big of an area, getting the Performance Max shopping ads up and running. And I say that because I just picked up a client 6 months ago, and they weren't running Google vehicle listing ads. They had a paid search provider that was running Performance Max, but it was all Performance Max search. And because they had not set a brand exclusion for that dealer, my guess is almost all of the Performance Max search dollars went to that dealer's name. And that's so for those people who, if you think I'm too far in the weeds here, Performance Max is like traditional search, only Google has 100% control. Performance Max shopping is the vehicle listing ads or products, if you will, if you're selling something else. Performance Max search is, again, it's traditional search. I don't want to say on steroids because it's stupid. It's traditional search multiplied by other places to show your ads, like Gmail and that. And it's only set to maximize conversions or return on ad spend, but it's all conversion based. It's never maximize clicks or anything like that, the way you could set a Google search campaign. And Google's 100% in control of what keywords they show. And the AI around Performance Max is going to try to maximize conversions. And if you are Stauning Toyota, guess which keyword, is going to maximize conversions for you? It's people who are already looking for you. They're going to trigger a store visit. They're going to, do a click to call, or they're sending a lead. And so Performance Max, you used to have to go into campaign settings and create brand exclusions so that it didn't bid on your name. Now, and this has literally been like in the last 10 days, you can set up in Performance Max search negative keywords. So dealers, for some dealers who've been running Performance Max search and not even know they're running Performance Max search, getting your name as a negative keyword is critical. Because look, you can run all the brand campaigns you want in Google. Feel free. I wouldn't if it was a common name. Certainly if it's Atlanta Toyota, I've got to bid on my name. But if it's Stauning Toyota, ain't no way I'm bidding on my name. But if you want to have a brand campaign, great. Have it in traditional search, put your budget in there, get your 49-cent clicks and your $3 cost per conversion. Feel like you're doing something, that's no big deal. But in Performance Max, you've got to set your name as a negative keyword, or you're going to exhaust your budget and you won't even know it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I got out of that game many, many years ago. But it's funny though. Every time we sign
mile one. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Every time we switch over to a different agency, I know I got to put up with the spiel. You really ought to be buying your dealership name.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, come on.
So if that's true, then you should buy every competitor name, because it must ROI for your competitors to buy your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, don't get me on that tangent. But low funnel. So,
I like this
performance.
Though.
What's that?
I said I like that rebuttal to the argument, though.
I'll bet that must ROI great for them. Or maybe they have a low quality score on your name and their cost per click is really high, and their bounce rate of people who are looking for, Stauning Toyota is huge. And so let them continue to waste. But I do have a dealer that has the same last name as a neighboring dealer. The other dealer is about 30 miles away. And it's different first names. It's like, Steve Stauning and Michael Stauning, but they're forced to buy their name for that. And then of course I have dealers that have a city name. And so, if somebody types in Toyota dealer near Atlanta, and, you've made your Atlanta Toyota a negative keyword at the broad match level, you're not going to show up for searches when someone's looking for a Toyota dealer near Atlanta. So, but anyway, so low funnel, that's the big part. I mean, that's really the most important piece on the marketing you're doing. And look, if you've got the money, and you've exhausted the low funnel, go move up funnel a little bit, right? If you want to go after some research keywords or whatever. But I personally, I wouldn't. By the way, one of the things that we've been doing lately is looking at the PVR, per vehicle retailed, of a total Google spend, and trying to, it's different for every market and make, certainly. But what we found is that as you go above $100 PVR, so let's say I sell 100 vehicles a month, not through Google, but 100 vehicles total a month. $100 PVR is $10,000 on Google. When you get above $100 PVR, the returns aren't there. And what I mean by that is you might still have a low cost per conversion, and I'm talking about human conversions like a store visit or a click call or something. You may have a low cost per conversion, but you don't grow your sales. You don't incrementally grow your sales as you go above that. And so trying to stay under $100 PVR, and there are certainly exceptions to this. I've got a dealer very successful growing at $121 PVR, but then I've got dealers that are growing with a $60 PVR, right? So why spend any more? But anyway, it's always been the case, like, how much should we spend on Google? How much should we do this? How much should we do that? If you're not doing any other digital marketing, and I mean like the third parties, you're not using cars.com, AutoTrader, whatever, your PVR is probably going to be higher and probably should be higher. But I had a client that we discovered in February this year. Their agency had been growing, and through, with the dealer allowing it and encouraging it, growing that Google budget month after month after month. And their PVR in February was $285. So they were spending $285 on Google for every car they retailed, not just through Google, but every car they retailed. The problem is year over year, they were flat. February 2024, when they were spending 111 or whatever PVR, they sold the same number of vehicles as they sold this year. And what we found is that, you get this low cost per conversion, but that 2018 F-150 with 20,000 miles on it got 82 of your calls and leads from Google vehicle listing ads. So anyway, this is weird. I don't have the Facebook pulled up, so I don't see any interaction. Is there any interaction, or is it just the three of us talking here?
We've got people watching. There haven't been any comments, though.
Lurkers, guys, call me names. Do it. Talk about my gray hair. Ask Jeff and Alex where they got that picture of me that they enticed you with to get you in here. Why do I not look anything like that? Yeah, I didn't. In my halfway house office, I don't have shit sandwich sitting here, but I do have. You know what? As long as you want to sell more cars in era of uncertainty, right there. It's just 2 books. Ridiculously Simple Car Selling. Buy one of these for every one of your salespeople. That's my middle son, by the way, on the back cover. So, and then for every one of your sales managers and your GM and sales managers, particularly Simple Sales Management. Look how stinking thin these are. They are ridiculously simple.
There you go, Steve. Russell Blackstone is hearing you.
Oh, good. There we go. Russell has still got, and I would too, Russell. I remember when you were on the cover of Digital Dealer Magazine, and I would absolutely keep that as my picture. I'd have that on my LinkedIn, all that. They never put me on the. Look at that. Look at that. You got sales too with the little Hot Wheels cars.
No,
actually, they're Matchbox cars. Oh yeah, don't buy that one. I make more money on that one, but it's 400 pages, folks.
That one's long.
Yeah. That ain't ridiculously simple. You don't want to buy that one for sure. Anyway, the only mid and high funnel stuff I would do is the same mid and high funnel stuff I would do all the time, which is SEO. And then, Alex, to your point about AI search, I don't have to hire an AI SEO company.
No,
I just have to make. Well, remember all the video SEO? Oh my God, you're not doing video SEO?
Oh God, video SEO. Jesus.
Voice SEO? People are using voice search. You've got to change your SEO. You got to pay 8 times more. It's all bullshit. Uh,
I was seriously just thinking about that the other night.
ah,
Voice SEO. It's like that
it
was like
was.
people wouldn't shut up about it for like what, a year?
Mhm. Oh yeah, because you're at a competitive disadvantage until we all realize no, you're not. Because it doesn't. Google's pretty smart. So the AI stuff. Look, the only thing I would change about my SEO is it's still going to be content heavy, but I would make sure that I'm doing questions and answers. Right? What's the best? What's better? If I'm selling Silverados, what's the difference between the Silverado and the F-150 and the Ram 1500? Right? And then I would have some answers to that. But if you've been writing your SEO conversationally the whole time, which you probably should have, right, with SEO pieces in there, right, like your city names and whatever, and proper anchor text and all of that, then you don't really have to make much change. And look, Google is pretty smart. They're pretty evil. They don't like losing. And so I'm going to go ahead and say that 5 years from now, you know what? Google will still be the number one search engine, and it'll still be the place where if you're trying to attract people looking for your product and you want to catch them really low funnel, you're going to be spending money there. But it may not be VLAs. They're the best thing right now, the vehicle listing ads. But heck, tomorrow, who knows? Right? There
Yeah.
was it was probably
It
it was.
almost is getting to the point where the digital or just sites in general. So your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your Googles, whatever it is, it's like, what age buyer do you want? Right. So the like my 30-year-old cousins and brother and whatnot, they don't use Google. Um, they're barely on Facebook. That kind of crowd, and so trying to reach them is a little harder.
So they don't have to use Google. Are they using a search engine, or do they just
AI.
type www dot? Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
AI through their phone.
I mean, I don't use Google either. So yeah, I'm 100% perplexity and on my phone.
I've always said that about you, that you're 100% perplexity. Even
Before
before
that,
I
it was
was.
100% DuckDuckGo. Did you ever say that about me?
Mhm. No, but I figured, you're in Vermont. You're probably wearing Birkenstocks right now. I mean, look, we don't expect you to do
No.
the normal things. We expect you to find what would a normal person do? I'm going to do this. That's the Alex we know and love. By the
Mhm.
way, I was reminded yesterday that 10 years ago, maybe during the Ryan Girardi years of hosting this platform, we used to have a
Mm.
beer. It's 10 a.m. here. Well, now it's 10:29. It was always tough for me to have a beer 10 a.m. on a Friday with Ryan. Anyway, sorry. I
I remember.
digress. Remember that.
Yeah, we have to do
Um,
something stronger now.
Well, I mean, obviously, we haven't made any changes to Dealer Refresh. I mean, we work off of the Zen4 Forum platform. And w- when you sign up to be a member on Dealer Refresh, we've got a quick questionnaire goes through. And it's been interesting to see how many new subscribers that respond to that uh, the
How did
initial
you
email
find
that we
us?
send them. Yeah, how many people have found us through ChatGPT?
oh, interesting.
It's
Yeah.
been well over 90% for the past this whole year of
Yeah.
coming in. Yeah.
So I'm not seeing any slowdown in Google searches for a specific vehicle, except for regular market fluctuations or things that happen. Tariff announcement, pre-tariff starting, post-tariff, all that. Those kind of changes that you expect. Are you saying these might all be bots that Google is, because they are evil? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to have armies of bots that
So
can fill out
we
forms and do all that. So
so we're a small one compared to a car dealer as a vendor. I'm talking about my company, Frickin' Tech.
sure.
Um, this year, we all the leads that we've received from Google have been spam, all of them.
Mm,
In fact, it's to the point where I just canceled the Google spend entirely.
Hmm.
interesting.
That was
Yeah.
not the case in 2024.
So there's, wow, we're going to get off in a on a different topic here, but yeah, I hopefully there's somebody out there with more time than I have. I mean, everybody has more time than I have, but I'm hopeful there's someone out there with more time than I have to dive into uh, analytics and Google Ads and that relationship and the the idea that that these campaigns are generating these kind of leads, because obviously those leads and calls, the clicks to call, those all just come from your website. So what we are seeing is, the click to call, that's that can also be an inadvertent click. It can be a bot. It can be lots of things that don't generate a phone call. But we always knew that. And so, we don't put the if we're creating values for conversion. So a form is worth $20. A real phone call is worth $100. Whatever value we're putting on those in Google Analytics and Google Ads, a clicked call, if a real call is worth 100, a click call might only be worth 20, right? Might be worth the same as a form lead, might be worth less. But the time that I do have, I am seeing just things that don't make sense. Google Ads reporting, 800 clicked calls for a large dealer. But then when we go into Google Analytics, we see 400. So analytics only counted 400. How did Google Ads, which is using the ASC underscore, click to call, is using that conversion from Google Analytics to count that goal of a click to call? How is it their math doesn't match the math of Google Analytics to begin with? But then also that same dealer, might show from all traffic sources, not just Google. They show 400 click calls from Google that month, but they show 1,200 total click calls, but they didn't get anywhere near that from their website, right? When you go and look at their call review reports or whatever, the numbers, they're just not even close. And so I just, Google's been nefarious on lots of things in the past. Who knows? And then if we have this, I mean, this guy, this imaginary guy or gal that has all this time to dive into it. What about the calls from ads, which is, if you've been in your Google Ads account, you see it's one of the conversions you can set up, calls from ads. Is there anywhere that I can click through and see those calls from ads and see the exact number? And just like I could, like in a call review report. These are the people who called you. This is how, this is their phone number. This is other data we might have on them. And here's how long the call took, and click here to listen to it, right? Or are we just supposed to take Google's word for it like we do with store visits? I don't know. You guys have now depressed me.
I stopped using Google Analytics. I've been doing everything through HubSpot, and HubSpot's a little better at, in their reporting at least, it's showing the difference between paid search and organic visitors. And then, of course, where the leads are coming from. And then it's easy to tell for us. Somebody submitting a lead from a Gmail or Yahoo account, probably not a real lead, for example. They're never responding. Everyone who submits a lead to us would be from at stauningtoyota.com.
Got it. Yeah.
Right. So pretty much everything we get from Google paid search has a free email account and is not a dealer. And then they also don't respond to our emails or have a phone number. But the organic ones do. Those are
interesting.
Dealers.
Yeah, you guys you've depressed me now. Everything that I thought was working isn't working. I got to go back to the drawing board and look. Let's talk process then.
Well,
go ahead.
That's where I was going with this, Steve. Though I think like you almost have to segment your marketing based off of age groups. So like the boomers and the Xers, are using Google. They are using Facebook. They're not as much on TikTok, for example. Whereas you get into that younger generation who's probably looking for Hyundais or less expensive Toyotas, some used cars, that kind of thing. Uh, that's where you're going to get them on Instagram and TikTok. They're not moving off of those platforms, but you're going to have to pick them up organically probably when it comes to search. So to your point of don't stop uh, concentrating on SEO, that's a good point.
Thank you.
That's the common ground I think across all of them.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about uncertainty is that SEO, because it's not tit for tat, um, and so it's hard to see the value in it right this second. Dealers will chuck that quick or cut way back on it or whatever. And the problem is that when good times come back, because they will, and by the way, lots of dealers are in good times right now. But when the uncertainty goes away, where are you? You now have to spend more money on marketing because you stop doing search engine optimization, which is the mid and high funnel stuff that you should always do. So,
Well, I
um,
can tell you
but
here's you want to go in the process conversation, but I do want to hit on something that's pertinent to Jeff, and I hope he doesn't mind. I didn't prep him for this at all, but um,
Mm-mm.
yesterday he was running me through one of the solutions that they use at his store, and the amount of text this thing was sending uh, was was mind blowing. And we find this all the time where a dealer has got messaging flying out from all these different solutions that they picked up along the way, and they don't have a really good grasp of what the actual message overall that they're portraying. And I'll throw one out there. Full path. Like we because we deal with leads, we have to go in and do test leads and that kind of thing at every store that we have as a client. And all of our full path stores are bombarding us with at least one email a day, if not multiples, and it's always about cars that have absolutely no relevance to the original inquiry. And it's like just this insane amount of stuff that gets sent out. uh, if you have full path, I highly advise you as a dealer take a look at what they're sending.
yeah, I am not
And
a
there's more.
fan of anything coming to your non-contacted customer. Let's start with non-contacted, other than what we set up in the CRM. That's it. And every CRM can handle it just fine. We've got a nice, easy process that's heavy on human tasks the first 3 days. And then it's automated emails, not every day, but automated emails basically from day 3 to day 21, probably 5 more total automated emails. That's it. And because everything else, all of the AI that I've seen, oh, you got to add this, you got to add that, whatever, all it does is step on the conversation between the dealer and the customer. And then to your point, I haven't seen the full path cadence, but I've seen others like it, that it's you get opt-outs like crazy. Quit contacting me. I will never effing do business with you again. Stop, stop, stop. And then if it's a separate tool and you reply to stop texting, for example, in that other tool, if it's not talking to
Mhm.
your CRM, guess what? Yeah, you're texting right out of your CRM. And now you're not that you weren't already violating the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, but now you're definitely violating it. So, and pissing somebody off. So
Well, the
I do want to correct you.
carriers are
I need to correct you though. You said boomers on Facebook and Google. It's to us to us boomers. It's the Facebook and the Google. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I will say the cell phone carriers have figured this out, and what they're going to start doing is assigning a phone number to a business, and then that phone number is utilized by all solutions that business would.
Mm.
So I don't know when that's supposed to happen, but we were alerted by the company we work with for for delivering texts. It sounds
So
like
say
that
that
could be coming down the road. So your
I'm not
store, Jeff.
following. Uh-huh.
So think of it like your domain for your website, right? Yeah, how many? Let's say you also your domain for your email address. So typically you want to utilize your email address and for name recognition to your
Mm-hmm.
customers, maybe out of your service solution, out of your CRM, out of maybe your email marketing if that's a different component too. Right? So you'd hand over your email domain to those solutions so they can utilize, Drive MB or Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown.com. And same for a phone number. So you'll have a phone number, and I don't know what that phone number might be, but you'll just hand over your phone number to your CRM company and um, your service reminder system, that kind of thing, and they'll use the same phone number.
Gotcha.
But the delivery of it will be handled by the solution provider, just like your email addresses are now, with the emails sent out of
Okay.
those systems. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I figured
Yes,
that's what it
indeed.
was, but I wasn't very clear on it. Okay.
Yep.
Makes sense to me. And yeah, the I can truly see lots of salespeople switching to, the ones that haven't already switched to texting directly from their own phone, doing that, which is going to be a pain in the ass because their argument's going to be, well, yeah, if I don't text Barbara Jones from my phone when she replies back to a text from the store, it's all going to one number. I'm not going to get it. And of course, the CRM will recognize her phone number and pass it to you, but it's
I'm
hard to
sure
explain
it'll
that to
be
salespeople.
I'm sure it'll be just like emails. Instead of having one phone number for the whole dealership, it'd probably be you have a block of phone numbers. They get assigned out. Just like you've got
Yeah.
Jeff at drivemb.com, for example, versus Justin at drivemb.com.
Well, as long as the customer responds from their phone number, most every CRM will pick it up and push it to the right salesperson. It won't just go in some unanswered replies box or whatever. So, I know because we're going to be up against the time here, and we promised people uncertainty. What to do on uncertainty, and this is the boring part, but it's amazing what strict adherence to process does in bad times because it does the exact same thing in good times. It allows you to grow market share. Notice I didn't say grow sales because in a declining market, your sales may decline, but as long as you're growing market share, that's good. You're doing better than others. And it allows you to hold more gross than anything else. And so in great times, strict adherence to process, you're going to grow market share faster than anybody. You're going to grow, and they're not, right? You're growing market share. Everybody's growing. You're just going to grow faster. And although everybody's making good money on the deals that they're selling, like we did, in 21 and 2022, when you have a strict adherence to process, you make more money, right? When you follow a road to the sale in the store and you do a proper trade walk where you reduce the perceived value in their mind of their vehicle and you increase their desire to own your vehicle, guess what? You can steal more trades and you can make more front on the vehicle. And when it's a good experience in the store, like the perfect appointment, people buy more stuff in the F&I office, and your back end grosses grow. But when it's a shitty experience, and you vomit information on me right away, as soon as I get there, I say something about payments, and you say, well, if you put 10,000 down, you could be under 650 on this vehicle. And I think I don't have 10,000, and I don't take a demo drive, and I leave, and I'm a lot ghost because you never put me in the CRM. Guess what? You don't sell very many vehicles, and the ones that you do sell, they're a fist fight. It's a fist fight to make anything on the front. And if you have crappy processes that make me wait on the F&I office for 2 hours, guess what? I'm not going to buy shit when I get in there either. So, processes, as boring as they are, They're the one. They're like low funnel marketing. They work in good times and bad times. They're like SEO. They work in good times and bad times. So there you go.
Very true.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Have we, as an industry, lost track of what the basics of selling are because we had so many good COVID years?
yes, and actually, a lot of dealers lost it before then,
Mhm.
I'll blame the internet because everybody wants to know your best price. That hasn't changed since the first Model Ts rolled off the assembly line. What is your best price? The difference is that we got lazy and we started vomiting that stuff out on the phone or out on the lot. We salespeople lost that discipline, and it's not the fault of the salespeople. It's the fault of the leadership at the store allowing it to happen. Um, Look, in 1985, I know for a fact that if at least the dealership I worked at, if you upped somebody and you didn't get their name, their home phone number, because nobody had mobiles back then, and their home address, and get all that to the desk and do a manager turnover, you were pretty close to losing your job, but you couldn't catch a fresh up at least the rest of the day, if not the rest of the week. They'd give you the white pages, and you could start calling people literally. Today, it's almost like we don't give a shit if we at most stores when we're catching fewer than half the ups in the CRM. Hey, look at that, we're closing our fresh ups at 60%. No, you're not. You're putting you're putting 40% of your fresh ups in the system, and why is that happening? Because there's no road to the sale. Your salesperson ups somebody, tries to sniff out if they're a tire kicker, kicks them to the curb, right? Boom, 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 easy. Why would I want to waste my time, showing this guy a vehicle if he's not buying today? Guess what? Everybody's a buyer. Everybody's a buyer who wants to buy today. And no offense, people don't like visiting dealerships while you're there. So if they're on your lot and you're working, guess what? They want to buy your vehicle from you today. And they've already been online. They know what your online price is. They know your online price is a good price or they wouldn't be there. If you're overpriced, ain't nobody showing up or calling you or sending a lead. Grab control, maintain control, drag them through your road to the sale, an abbreviated road to the sale. Still the same number of steps, but they're shorter. Make sure you're doing a good trade walk where you beat the shit out of their trade, get them loving your vehicle, hating theirs. Make sure you do a good feature presentation, not one where you butterfly the car like you're trying to win a trip to Detroit, but one where you show off some really cool things about this new F-150 and take the demo drive. And until you're inside after the demo drive, the only numbers that should be coming out of your mouth are things like horsepower, the year of the vehicle, things like if you're talking payments, trade, interest rate, down payment, any of that shit on the lot, we don't need you. Go sell shoes, fella. Um, because look, and by the way, it's not like there's these hard word tracks you got to memorize. It's the same word tracks that were around in '85. Is that your best price? That's a great question. Of course, there's so much that goes into calculating final price. I mean, impossible for me to give you a ballpark out here on the lot. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and take it for a quick test drive. Make sure it's a vehicle you want to own. We go back to the test drive. We're going to give you all the numbers so you can take everything home, make an informed decision. How's that sound? That's it. Doesn't work every time, but it works better than going, well, I'm not allowed to tell you this, but if you bitch and moan, we could probably knock about $500 off of it. Okay. Now $500 below has now become my idiot price. And I'm going to bitch and moan to get another 1,000 off of that. And guess what? We're not going to make a deal. And if we do, it is going to be 1,000 below my new idiot price, which was 500 below what you had it online for. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It drives me
It's
crazy
funny.
because write-up questions are for the write-up. Sorry. Go ahead.
We did we had every Friday we do a little fun company meeting, and we did a survey this morning because a lot of our employees are in Vermont, and a few of us had bought cars recently. visited multiple dealerships, and we were we were trying to go around and figure out, okay, which CRM systems did we actually get into as customers? And there was like I had visited 4 different stores, took test drives at all of them, wasn't entered into the CRM in any of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh
How do you
my
know?
And
God.
and that was the case at most for most of the employees here.
So look, dealers, start there. Nobody gets a test drive unless we scan their license
But they were
and it's
taking the
in the
license,
no,
but
but
there was
scan their
no follow
license.
up afterward, which was how we were assuming we weren't in the CRM.
Yeah, and then well, it's really easy. Hi, welcome to Stauning Toyota. Which vehicle did you come to test drive today? 80% of people are going to blurt something out, and they're going to say, "I'm here to see the new Tundras. I'm here to see this pre-owned, Tercel from the '80s you got on your website." Whatever that 80% says, I say, "Great, let me get your driver's license. We'll get you registered. We'll get you some keys. We'll get you on your test drive." I don't even know your name yet. I said, "Welcome to Stauning Toyota. My name is Steve. Which vehicle do you want to test drive today?" Once I get your license, I go, "Oh, hey, Alex. My name's Dave. Not great to meet you. My name's Steve." I scan your license, I hand it back. I say, "By the way, what's a good phone number for you?" "Hey, thanks." "By the way, what's a good email address for you?" "Hey, thanks." Not all of that 80% is going to give me all of that information, but if you do it in a conversational way and it's part of your cadence, you're going to be shocked at how many people don't give it to you. I mean, it's such a tiny number. Almost everybody's just going to vomit it right out to you. And
And then if
then
they don't, you just ask them again a little later.
that's
Yep.
it. That's it. Um, yeah, this is crazy because most CRMs, at least the really good ones, if you have a name, email, phone number, and a vehicle of interest in the system, and I don't buy, but you have that information from me, and then you knock $100 off that vehicle tomorrow, I get an email. "Hey, great news, Steve. We just dropped the price." And that comes from the salesperson. And he didn't do a thing other than get my information in the system. And then certainly on the new car side, my God, we don't know. Let's pick on Stellantis right now. We don't know what Stellantis is going to do by the time we get off of this meeting today. Right? I mean, we don't. But guess what? If I was looking at a Jeep Grand Cherokee at a Stellantis store yesterday and tomorrow it's 0.9% or something, boop, 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 3 clicks in your CRM and you're sending me an email. The system is sending emails to all of us Grand Cherokee intenders, and it's going to come to me. It's going to say, "Great news, Steve. Chrysler just announced, or Jeep just announced, blah, blah, blah." And it's going to come from my salesperson. And again, he or she didn't do a thing, didn't lift a finger to make that happen, except get me in the CRM with contact information and a vehicle of interest. That's the process basic stuff that you sell more cars in any kind of market. And that's the kind of stuff that's really missing today. And to circle back to Alex's original question, it is a lot worse because of the inventory shortages.
It is.
The inventory shortages, I've said it on this show before, put everybody into order taker mode. And no offense, I would have been in order taker mode if I was selling cars during the inventory shortages. That's it. I'd have been there. But it's time to snap out of it. And I just think, a lot of the sales managers today don't know anything else. They became sales managers during that time, right? They didn't get any training. We know that.
Well, they became
When they
order
were
takers as
salespeople.
well.
Yeah. And so, and they rewarded the order takers. And so they don't know a good road to the sale because nobody ever taught it to them when they were salespeople. And so, hint, there is a road to the sale in ridiculously simple car selling. I do make $6 per book. So there's that.
Get Steve like something off the $6 menu at McDonald's,
That's it.
and then get an education.
That's it.
I don't even know if they have a dollar menu anymore. So,
I don't know what
I
they
don't think
have. Yeah, I don't go there. I can't afford
the
McDonald's
$10
anymore.
menu
right, $10 cheeseburger, single patty.
anymore.
Indeed.
I was just out in California. I ate it In-N-Out for the first time.
Oh yeah, I don't
That's
think I've ever been.
That's an establishment. I mean, that's like the Chick-fil-A of hamburgers.
Is
What is
In and
In and
out.
In
Out?
and out.
Oh yeah, all day, all day. Sorry, somebody emailed me with the word important at the top, and it wasn't spam, and I looked over at it. Yeah, In and Out, 100%, 100% the Chick-fil-A of hamburgers, and that's why a lot of people think it's the best burger out there. In fact, it just won some award for that. Finally beat Five Guys, but
Mm,
and it might be the best burger out there. I go out of my way for In and Out.
I mean,
Vegas, I'll go to that spot on the strip where the In and Out is.
never been. We don't have them on this coast, do we?
no, I think they're going to open the first one in Nashville. So the first
Yeah,
one on the other side of the Mississippi.
Jeff, I would have taken you to In and Out instead of that sushi burrito place when we were.
Dude, the sushi
How many
burrito
years
place
ago
is
was
good.
that?
Oh
Yeah.
my
By the
god.
way, and for those of you thinking, "Oh, sushi burrito, been there, done that." No. This
No, that's
was
good.
before it was invented.
Yes.
Jeff found this place, and
You
we took a
found.
cab there. Oh, I found it. I was going to give you
I
credit,
think
fella.
so.
All
That's
right.
all right.
I thought I found it, but I was going to give you credit anyway because I'm going to tell the whole story. And we take this. We took a cab, right? Not an Uber. Yeah, cab. This is how long ago it was. And we went because it was in this scary, sketchy strip mall in Vegas, which sketchy strip mall is redundant. But anyway, we had these sushi burritos. Had never had them before. They were phenomenal. And then turns out Jeff left his wallet in the cab. We got back to, I think it was NADA because it was in the big halls. Yeah, it was in NADA because it was in the big halls in Vegas.
I think it was an Uber because you were able to get the information.
Okay,
And
it may have been an
you,
Uber. Yeah.
you say you you. I don't want to say you saved my life that day, but my God, that could have been really bad.
Imagine being stuck in Vegas without your wallet. And luckily, the guy returned it. All the cash was in there.
Yep.
Yeah, his next ride, I found it in the back seat. And so we got, they delivered it back to us. It was a big deal. But yeah, all just cash, his driver's license, all that stuff. It's in the back of that Uber.
Yeah, it went
sorry.
good. Nope.
Sorry.
Thank you everybody for it.
Yeah, but the sushi burritos were the bomb again before they were even invented.
So good. Yeah. So good.
Mm-hmm.
You got me thinking about
All
it.
right. I know.
All right. So
Now they're passe. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to, as we're 2 minutes away, I was going to recap this for everyone.
Yeah.
Let's see how I do here. So it's about low funnel marketing right now in uncertain times, especially when it comes to Google paid search. Do not be buying your name unless you have to, but definitely be focused on the low funnel side of the ad spend. Then get back to basics. That's always a good move to make in any troubling time, right? That's what we tell
And in great times. Yes.
Yeah, in great times. Always. Yes.
Yes.
Follow the road to a sale, and you can find one in Steve's books. It'll earn him $6.
That's
and
it.
And then finally, sushi burritos are amazing.
And Jeff and Steve were the first two humans to have one. That's how I'm going to start telling the story.
I wish I could remember the name of that place.
It's gone. It's a vape shop now, I'm sure.
Probably.
every store in that strip mall is a vape shop now. So.
You're probably right. So true.
All right. Well, Steve, guys, I appreciate you having me on. It's always
we appreciate
pleasure.
You joining us.
Yeah, maybe next time I'm on, I'll be living in the woods and I'll have a different background instead of a small kitchen and stuff in the background. So there you go.
I'd like a weekend invite to the new place.
You will. Yeah. But if we build it from scratch, it'll probably be next year that we have anything built. But got to sell the water house first. And then once it's sold, then we'll get serious about making an offer on something. So
if you ever get into looking to do more with your land, if you're out in the woods or anything, hit me up.
Well, so the wife wants to do, just going to tell you right now, the wife wants to do an event center, and I'm sure that's probably the direction we're going right now. But I'm a very flexible guy, and what comes comes. She wants a couple of Scottish Highland cows on the
Oh,
property.
cool.
Yeah, so
Oh,
people can pet
nice.
them or whatever. I'd love to do a big barbecue on the property, and also but slaughter our own cows, but not Scottish Highlands, right? So
Right.
still have
No.
Scottish Highlands for petting, but it could almost be like the lobster places on the East Coast where you choose your own lobster, right? People can choose their own cow, butcher it right there for them.
It's a lot of
I
cow.
that's almost how I get my meat. We've got a local rancher. I go and I pick out the
Yeah,
cow that I want.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
We
Fill
buy
up the
one of those.
freezer.
But yeah,
sure
if you're
do.
gonna do that, then I would say if you're not one to pull out the chainsaw yourself and stack the logs, you can definitely hire someone to make the lumber for any of these things you're gonna build. It's
Oh,
so much cooler when it's the wood from your lot that's being used on
Mhm.
your house or your sheds or whatever it might be.
that's a great. You know what? I had not thought of that, and now I'm going to look for something that's more heavily wooded with more mature trees because the idea of the event center, the big barn area, I want those big beams, right, that go everywhere. Ah, godsend. Now
Yeah,
I'm really
those
glad I did this.
those are
So
those are way less expensive if you have them milled yourself than buying them,
nice. Good,
because
good.
I
they'll
bet.
they'll want like for an 8x8 or a 12x12. I've seen it like $120 a board foot.
Oof.
Whew.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas you can get somebody out there with a wood miser who can mill that stuff right up for 200 or 300 bucks an hour.
Maybe I'll buy a wood miser.
I
They
was
start at 40
I don't know what they
grand if you're
cost,
going to go into that.
but then
I
I
mean,
can be everybody's wood miser. You need
Yeah,
a wood
you'll
miser?
want me
I'm
to
your
pay it
guy.
off.
I can tell
I'm your
I have
guy.
a look, I can help you with this. I have my own mill and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
when you get to that point, saying hit me up. I'll
I will. You got it.
point you in the right direction.
Excellent.
Alex
Appreciate
does
that.
like to play with wood.
Not
You get
touching
Is
to a
it.
that a
point, Jeff, where you see the trees come down. You got to get them out of your yard anyway. And I got tired of
tree?
seeing just beautiful pieces of wood turned into firewood. Let's,
I'm
let's
with
make
you.
furniture. That's how I got hooked
Nice.
up.
That's what you do.
Yep.
So,
Yes, I play
all right,
with wood.
gentlemen. Steve, as
Truly
always, we
appreciate
really
your
appreciate
time.
it, man.
My
You got
pleasure,
it.
guys. Have a great
Any big
weekend.
plans for Memorial Day weekend?
Nah, family's still working on the old house, cleaning it up and stuff. I just have work to
Mhm.
do. So,
I've
my
got a
regular
bushel of
clients.
crabs ordered for tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
I will.
I am making miso soaked cod, the Nobu recipe tonight. Miso soaked black
Mm,
cod tonight. I've done it about 4 or 5 times. It's as good as Nobu. It really is.
really?
And yeah, it's easy to do. It just takes 3 days to let it marinate. But
Mm.
anyway, so,
I'll be
all
out
right,
for a bite.
gents. Yeah,
All right,
indeed.
guys.
Enjoy, everyone.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Be safe.